Clear, concise contract terms substantially reduce the risk of business and financial disputes, as well as the risk of professional liability problems with clients. Simply put, a good contract is your best risk management tool. If you have a contract that doesn't have clear and concise contract terms, you're going to have ambiguity, and ambiguity can lead to disputes. And disputes can eventually lead to claims and possibly even litigation. Or they might result in you not getting paid for your services or having to do a lot more services than you anticipated doing. So it's really important up front to try to clarify with your client an understanding of the project, what you're going to do, what they're going to do, and how the project is going to move forward. Now, we recognize that the choice of the type of contract and the content of the contract is not always within your control. But I'm a firm believer that all contracts are subject to negotiation. Occasionally we do see clients who say, I know this is a very one-sided onerous contract for you, and I don't care. Either sign it or you're not going to get the job. And then it becomes a business decision for you to make whether you want to move forward or not under those circumstances. If the contract is bad enough, you may decide, and hopefully maybe you should decide, to just avoid the project altogether. If you do recognize that you're entering into a bad contract, you might want to try to mitigate your risk down the line by just dotting every I and crossing every T. And then it would involve a lot of communication with your clients, really making sure the contractor is living up to their end of the contract obligations and documenting everything that goes on in that project. The first law of contracts basically is you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. Please don't ever think that if you sign a really bad, one-sided, terrible contract, that the courts are going to say, well, this was so awful, we're not going to hold you to the terms of this agreement. Because in most cases, that's not going to happen. The courts are going to say you had the right to walk away from it, you had the right to try to negotiate changes. If you sign a bad contract, you have to be ready to live up to the consequences of what was in that contract. So review them carefully. We will never tell you that you can't sign a bad contract. All I think any of us really ever ask is that if you do go into a contract that's a bad one, that you do it with your eyes open and you know what you're getting into.